I have drunk coffee.
I have drunk coffee.
I had drunk coffee before I went to work.
I had drunk coffee before I went to work.
He has fixed the car.
He has fixed the car.
He had fixed the car before we drove it.
He had fixed the car before we drove it.
He has gone to the store.
She has gone to the store.
She had gone to the store before I called her.
She had gone to the store before I called her.
We have known each other for years.
We have known each other for years.
We had known each other for years before we became friends.
We had known each other for years before we became friends.
I have read that book.
I have read that book.
I had read that book before the discussion started.
I had read that book before the discussion started.
She has spoken to the manager.
She has spoken to the manager.
She had spoken to the manager.
She had spoken to the manager.
She has practiced the piano for 1 hour.
She has practiced the piano for 1 hour.
She had practiced the piano for an hour before her lesson.
She had practiced the piano for an hour before her lesson.
We have worked on the project together.
We have worked on the project together.
We had worked on the project together before we submitted it.
We had worked on the project together before we submitted it.
She has taken the train to work.
She has taken the train to work.
She had taken the train before the weather turned bad.
She had taken the train before the weather turned bad.
I have ridden the horse.
I have ridden the horse.
I had ridden the horse.
I had ridden the horse.
She has walked to the park.
She has walked to the park.
She had walked to the park before it started raining.
She had walked to the park before it started raining.
I have run 5 miles.
I have run 5 miles.
I had run 5 miles before I took the break.
I had run 5 miles before I took the break.
I have made the bed.
I have made the bed.
I had made the bed before I left for work.
I had made the bed before I left for work.
She has attended all the meetings.
She has attended all the meetings.
She had attended all the meetings before the project was finished.
She had attended all the meetings before the project was finished.
She has sung the song at the concert.
She has sung the song at the concert.
She had sung the song at the concert.
She had sung the song at the concert.
He has given me the book.
She has given me the book.
She had given me the book before I asked her.
She had given me the book before I asked her.
I have eaten the lunch.
I have eaten the lunch.
I had eaten lunch before I met you.
I had eaten lunch before I met you.
I have sent the emails.
I have sent the emails.
I had sent the emails before I left the office.
I had sent the emails before I left the office.
We have arrived at the airport.
We have arrived at the airport.
We had arrived at the airport before the flight was announced.
We had arrived at the airport before the flight was announced.
They have watched the game on TV.
They have watched the game on TV.
They had watched the game on TV before they went out.
They had watched the game on TV before they went out.
She has finished her homework.
She has finished her homework.
She had finished her homework before 6 p.m.
She had finished her homework before 6 p.m.
They have gone to the park.
They have gone to the park.
They had gone to the park.
They had gone to the park.
She has enjoyed the movie.
She has enjoyed the movie.
She had enjoyed the movie before going to bed.
She had enjoyed the movie before going to bed.
I have written a letter.
I have written a letter.
I had written a letter before I sent the email.
I had written a letter before I sent the email.
She has traveled to Paris.
She has traveled to Paris.
She had traveled to Paris before she moved to London.
She had traveled to Paris before she moved to London.
We have not seen that movie.
We have not seen that movie.
We had not seen that movie.
We had not seen that movie.
He has opened the gifts.
He has opened the gifts.
He had opened the gifts.
He had opened the gifts.
She has cleaned the house.
She has cleaned the house.
She had cleaned the house before guests arrive.
She had cleaned the house before guests arrive.
They have visited the museum.
They have visited the museum.
They had visited the museum before they left the city.
They had visited the museum before they left the city.
She has slept.
She has slept.
She had slept before she went to work.
She had slept before she went to work.
We have painted the walls.
We have painted the walls.
We had painted the walls before we moved in.
We had painted the walls before we moved in.
I have played soccer.
I have played soccer.
I had played soccer.
I had played soccer.
I have called my friend.
I've called my friend.
I had called my friend.
I had called my friend.
He has studied for the exam.
He has studied for the exam.
He had studied for the exam.
He had studied for the exam.
I have cooked dinner for the family.
I have cooked dinner for the family.
I had cooked dinner for the family.
I had cooked dinner for the family.
He has met his friends at the cafe.
He has met his friends at the cafe.
He had met his friends at the cafe.
He had met his friends at the cafe.
I have heard the news on the radio.
I have heard the news on the radio.
I had heard the news on the radio.
I had heard the news on the radio.
He has worked on an important task.
He has worked on an important task.
He had worked on an important task before the deadline.
He had worked on an important task before the deadline.
She has arrived late.
She has arrived late.
She had arrived late.
She had arrived late.